I've been training for weeks. I've been working in the parks. I've been working with guests. But that first time I worked with a character, that was a little bit of a scary experience. Back when I worked at PhotoPass, our training was broken up into different periods. We had the regular photography training, icon training, where we learned how to take pictures in front of the castle or Spaceship Earth, things like that. Then after that, we had night shots, where we learned what exposure settings and stuff to do at night. I don't think they even do that training much anymore. And then eventually, kind of the ultimate training was to work with characters. We spent this whole day actually working with some characters, learning the kind of shots, learning how to run the lines, learning how to work with the characters and recognize signals they were sending and all of this. And it was just this big extra dump of information and responsibility. So it was exciting, but also a bit scary that first day when you look at the schedule and you go,
I'm working with characters today.
My very first time working with a character was up at the entrance area, right at Town Square, which is a very, very busy area. So I'd never worked with characters before, getting ready to go in, and I'm just like, oh man, if I mess this up, this is not going to be good. So the characters all have places that they kind of hang out, the dressing and break rooms. Generally, those are off limits to everybody except for people that are working with the characters. So it was the one time we got to go to their break rooms because they were definitely nicer. So my manager, knowing I didn't know where this place was or what I was doing, had somebody walk me over and show me where they were at. So that way I could walk in before the day started and say, hi, I'm totally new at this. I don't know what I'm doing, although I've been trained. And I'm working with one of you today, so help. And I was matched up with Donald Duck. And Donald was just absolutely amazing for me. Donald became a friend of mine for years. And we always ended up looking out for each other. But Donald actually sat down and said, okay, happy to have you. Here's what I'm looking for. Here's the routine. We've got character attendants that are going to be running the line, so you don't have to worry about that. But here's what I'm hoping that you will do as a photographer. And one of the big things with characters that they really wanted was to be quick. There were photographers that were slow taking pictures. And if you had the camera, it was hold it up and 1, 2, 3, turn the camera, 1, 2, 3, and just no. And so that was one of the very first things that I focused on was, okay, I'm going to be looking, who's taking pictures first. I'm going to be kind of following your lead to start off with it while I get a hold of what I'm doing. And take pictures quick. Big thing with all the characters. Take those pictures quick. Because otherwise it wastes time and it takes time away from that family and time away from the families that are waiting in line. Donald was just amazing and just helping me out. So we go out and attendant comes out, grabs the line. I step into place at the front of the line, and Donald steps in and waves to the first guest. And my first thought was, here we go. So with characters, in addition to taking the pose pictures at the end, they really wanted you to get some candids. The meeting, the autographs, activity, hugs, and things like that. And the big thing is you don't stay in one place. So very quickly I was learning, okay, when they're doing a hug, they're not turning themselves for the camera. You got to move the camera around to get to them. When a kid comes up, you've got to get down on your knees. Lots of time on your knees. And for a really little one, it could mean half laying down on the ground to be able to get that angle right. I kind of joked, exercises, you've got your squats where you're doing all these knee bends. You do that all the time with characters. Just constant knee bend, moving around. And so you get very used to that. But that first day, oh my gosh, End of the first day, my legs were killing me from all those knee bends. But we did one set, and I moved around a little bit, took a few pictures, and then I walked off with them after the set because we had a break of about 10 minutes or so, and then Donald would come back out, and so I went back and basically said, okay, how did I do? What do I need to improve? What do I need to fix? And after every set, we had that little downtime. Okay, how's it going? How did I do? What do I need to fix and improve? And they were wonderful in that they sat down with me and said, okay, this is good, this is bad. And I didn't have a whole lot bad, as I recall. I don't really remember them criticizing too much other than, okay, you want to be here, you want to make sure you cover this. I'm going to set this shot up for you. Because the characters, when they like you, they will set shots up. They'll angle it and pose in such a way that you can get this picture. If they know that you're going to get the candids, they'll set it up for you. Not every photographer takes candids, which is sad. And that was one of the reasons I talked with the characters ahead of time, is I always like to say, okay, here is what I'm looking for. I do take this kind of shot. I like to get the autographs from a certain angle and so forth. Don't have to pose for me, and a lot of times characters say, okay, if I know you're doing that, I will make sure I set up in such a way that you can get the best shot possible. And that was fun. It was a great time to be able to work with Donald and them coach me not just on how best to set up for them, but what they were looking for, and to really be able to work together. By the end of the day, we were a pretty good team, I like to think. Like I said, they comment afterwards, that was great, had an awesome day, can't wait to work with you again. And ended up working with them a number of times. And like I said, we kept up friendships for years. In fact, it's only recently I lost contact with them because they deleted their Facebook. They've gotten married since then, got a couple kids, and it was just really neat how working with the character improved my skills, but it also created this friendship there. And it was something that I learned early on that would go a long ways towards helping me in working with the characters, is that if I went ahead of time and said, hey, here I am, I'm here to help you, I'm here to serve you, what do you want, what are you looking for? Okay, then here's what I'm hoping to do. How does that work with you? And establishing that relationship with the characters ahead of time, talking about expectations. And I had a lot of characters that I worked with on a regular basis. And you formed a friendship. And with several of them, Mulan, for example, at Epcot, I worked with a whole bunch. Snow White at Epcot, I worked with a lot. And a few others. The Chipmunks, I worked with a bunch. I could walk into the break room and look over and say, oh, hey, Chip, hey, Dale, it's me today. And they're like, awesome! And that was all we had to say in the morning. And then we talk about other stuff and sports or how their life was and stuff like that. Because we had worked together, we knew each other. They knew how I worked. I knew how they worked. And once you get to know each other a bit and you see how somebody works, it just kind of becomes natural that you can just kind of flow with what they're doing, and you know what they're going to do. And so you could automatically know, all right, this guest is walking up this way. I know I'm going to slide right over here, off the character's back shoulder, because I know how they're going to greet that guest, and you get your shots. And it was really fun that way, that, that first time Donald set me up good, helped me out, taught me well, helped my confidence come up that, yeah, I'm going to be okay at this, showed me what, as a character, they were looking for and wanting, and helping me to do that. And then really, I credit Donald with helping launch me into what I really think was a very successful PhotoPass career with the characters, to the point where the characters would see me coming in and would get excited. It was a neat thing. We could walk into a room full of characters, and a couple of them would immediately look up and go, George, are you with me? Please tell me you're with me. I want you to be with me. You're not with me. Oh, you got a good one today. And I really appreciate the fact that I had a good reputation where characters who hadn't worked with me, the characters who had, would look at them and say, hey, you've got a good photographer. You're in good hands. You got nothing to worry about. I had fun. It was a neat way to start, and a great way to continue on. So, to my Donald, Anna, thank you. I appreciate everything you did, and it was fun over the years. So that's kind of how I started off with characters, and then kind of built up and established from there. And yeah, working with characters was one of the best parts of the job. So, hope you enjoyed this little look at starting out, and would love to know if you've got any questions, anything else you would like to know. Please drop it in the comments below. Do you want to know more about working with the characters and the training and stuff? Let me know. I'd love to hear. Always looking for ideas and feedback. Thank you so incredibly much to my supporters and my patrons. They get background information. They have ideas about what's coming up in the future and what's happening. If you want to get more of that, feel free to check out the description. There's information there too. Thank you so incredibly much for watching. God bless. I've been training for weeks. I've been taking pictures in the parks. I've been working with... So back when I started at PhotoPass, our training was broken up into different periods. And we had regular photo... We had icon... Okay. When you get to work with the character, most... I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know your thoughts, your comments, your suggestions, your ideas. Be sure to share them in the comments below, or you can contact me. There's information in the description that has my email address, fan pages, information about merchandise, and so much more. So be sure to check that out. Don't forget to hit that like button, share the video, and if you haven't already, hit the button right up there to subscribe. And in fact, if you did enjoy this, I've even got another video for you right here. And also about these wonderful people here, those are my YouTube members and my patrons, the ones whose financial support makes this possible. I couldn't do it without them. If you want to know more about that and the perks that come with it, well, be sure to check the description. There's a link right down there. Thank you so incredibly much. God bless.